so I am making a carrot coleslaw. I've washed these. They are great. Okay, so number one tip with carrots is if you don't buy the baby carrots, they haven't been cut. So once we cut open and cut through that skin, the moisture has a way of like getting lost. So if you're buying carrots with baby carrots, they don't stay fresh as long. So number one, buy real carrots with the stem and everything intact. That way, because baby carrots are really just carrots, regular carrots cut down. Okay, so number one, save money because they're gonna last way longer. I bought these weeks ago, okay? Stayed in the fridge weeks ago. So that's number one way saving money is buy the whole food instead of the pre-processed. Yep, you're gonna have to do a little bit of prep work, but don't worry, you'll have lots of time to do it. So number one, buy regular carrots. And I've washed them. So done, that's done. All we're gonna do is make coleslaw with this. Awesome, it doubles, actually it triples. So I'm just gonna read the instructions like I normally do, and I'm gonna make a tangy, maybe a little bit creamy dressing. So I'm gonna follow the tangy thing. So it calls for 2 tablespoons. As if you follow my videos, the caps of these tall jars and the short jars actually measure out to be 2 tablespoons exactly. So you're going to, I don't even need a measuring spoon for this, because who wants to do more dishes? Okay, so there we go. Then the next thing it says is mix with 1/3 cup of oil and 1/3 cup of vinegar. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a prep bowl and there's 1/3 cup of vinegar, 1/3 cup. I believe it says 1/3 cup. No, 2/3 vinegar, 1/3 oil. 2/3. Okay, so basically this is gonna fill it up. So we'll do 1/3, 2/3 vinegar, and I'll get that up there. I'm using apple cider vinegar because I feel like it gives a lot more taste to it rather than just that puckery acid. So here we go, got to 1/2 cup, and I'm gonna fill up a little bit more. And then what we're gonna do is, instead of going, what's 1/3 cup? You just take the 1 cup prep bowl and fill it up to the top. Simple, simple, simple. And this is a way that it'll be great because we're gonna be using this small dish for something else. So that's about 1/3 cup. There we go. Now we have the right ingredients. You can eye it. It's no big deal if it's off by a tiny bit. Now this is the hard part. Careful. And away you go. Throw it in there and we're gonna stir it around. Now, I don't even have a tool to stir it around with, which is fine, but I'm gonna show you something. So we're just gonna let it sit there for a second, and then I'm just gonna take the tops and the bottoms off. You don't even need to take the bottoms off, but as you can see, some of the roots are still there. So if you want to make it a little bit easier, you can cut the top off, but I'm gonna show you. Just cut the bottom off if you want. And this is how easy it's gonna be. Again, you can use a cutting mat if you want. You're gonna use a mandolin. This is the old Epicure one. There is a new one that's even more, and you're just gonna put it right into the salad dressing. I know, watch your fingers, okay? And all you have to do is slide, sorry for the noise, slide. And I know you might want those matchsticks. There's different ways to do it, but I just find this is fine. And don't forget, there's the skin still on it. So now we're not peeling it. We're still getting all that freshness inside, but a lot of the vitamins and minerals are usually just underneath the skin as well. Obviously not the carotenoids, and that's good. And that's all the way through because that comes through the color, but there's also fiber. There's some extra fiber in that skin, and I'm gonna be careful. So this is where I'm like, I'm not feeling safe, so I just go to the next one. And I just chop off that or anything that I feel is like is a tiny bit going, And I like it, keeping it flat. But if you want, you can actually try to cut it on an angle and you'll get wider slices. So the great thing, it's just like that. You can do this with cabbage and different things, cucumbers and the ends of your broccoli, and you can make your own slaw in minutes. This is really, really an affordable way of getting in kind of a different type of salad. But as well, you know I hate doing dishes, and yes, I do have a dishwasher. But if you want, you can kind of pull it on an angle a little bit more. And as you can see, it'll go towards an angle. And that's the way it goes, is it just keeps on going in there. And now this is a really good thing. I love the prep bowl because it also comes with a silicone lid. So I can prepare this ahead of time. And it's almost like And you know, like with coleslaw, I really don't care about the ends, maybe you do, but I just keep going. And then I'll maybe chop up the carrots for something else, or chop them up finely myself. But I usually just kind of chop them up and then I steam them later for, say, something if I want to have steamed whatever. So, and that's a great way of keeping your fingers safe. That's it. Okay, so you kind of get the idea, right? So I'm going to continue along because I'm not Martha and I'm not Rachel Ray and I don't have a whole studio. Not necessary. It's not necessary for you either. So as you can see, amazing. But I'm going to do the rest of the carrots. I promise you that because I'm definitely wanting to make them. Don't forget, that was weeks old. So there's another thing where you're like, okay, Sandra, you can do this with cabbage, whatever else. Imagine that. So you've done it. Broccoli, cabbage, carrots, cucumbers. You can just slide it right in after you've done the dressing in a bowl, which is cool. You can keep it overnight, but there's another way to elevate this to actually bring in some extra stuff. So I'm going to show you. And by the way, if you want to make it creamy, you just add some Greek yogurt. So plain, not vanilla, but plain Greek yogurt, and you can now make it a creamy coleslaw. So there's a couple other ways that I really, really like making my slaw. I'm going to add in an apple. Okay, so I'm just going to do this. Oh, and of course I got a tiny bit of the core in there. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the prep. I'm going to make just like this, turn it like this. And I'm going to have little sweet apple slices. So this is another good way of sweetening things up. You don't even have to add, say, a maple syrup, but you can add maple syrup, and the flat cutting boards make it super easy. I can just put a green apple in there. It's a little bit tart, but a lot sweet and even more crunch. So you're not going to be like, oh, what's this? So we've got now green apples. I've got a carrots. And you're like, oh, I wonder what else I can do. Or I want some protein. Yep, if you want, you can add, say, like a feta. You can actually add walnuts. I know, and I like the halves because they're bigger chunks, but if you have little pieces or even in your baking cupboard, just make sure that they're not gone rancid because it is very possible that they do. So be careful because the oils in here that are super healthy for your brain, don't forget, doesn't that look like the hemisphere of a brain, right? So it kind of reminds you this is really good for your brain. And so I just kind of break them up. So the bigger the pieces, and this is even with spices, the bigger the pieces, the more that they won't go rancid right away because those oils will degrade over time. And so now that's great. Now, if you want to hit it up one more time and you want to add some more sweetness and you just really, really want to, I got another one for you. Where are you? Cranberries. So you're going to actually even just grab some cranberries. Don't worry, I washed my hands beforehand. And there we go. So now we've got this carrot apple coleslaw, and you can add or mix in, but you can also do this. Just put all the ingredients in a small dish and let people add to their coleslaw if you have a family event or you're just at the table and people are just like, I don't like this, I don't like that. You don't have to make everything for everyone. You can make one thing and they can personalize it. So super awesome. Or you can have like a salad bar that has that. I think this is a great idea. I think it's a great way to use up your vegetables and even fruit or ingredients around the house like that. Doesn't it look colorful, beautiful, sunshiny, still super healthy, and guess what? Put the lid on it. There's a silicone lid. Put the lid on it, or if you don't have that, just wrap it up. Put it in the fridge. This stays good for a couple days. It is really packable as well, so when it mixes, if it flips over in a reusable container with a lid, a sealable lid, then it still looks beautiful, perfect for lunches, perfect for traveling, and I highly, highly, highly recommend doing all this way. But then guess what? Just put your lids on the ingredients. You can do them separately, and away you go. You don't have dishes as much as you think. So you just need like a couple things. You don't even need a measuring spoon, and this doubles as your measuring cup. So I'm gonna go finish cutting my carrots, and I hope you guys got a great tip out of this. But sometimes it's not just, this makes it super tasty. Sometimes it's just finding things around and knowing what to do with what. So hopefully you like this idea. If you didn't, let me know what kind of ideas you do like, because I'm all about trying to help serve you. And I hope you guys are having a cool day on a really hot summer day. You know what I mean?